Today, we're going to be talking about where the no contact rule doesn't work. And if you're in a relationship right now, trying to end it and have maybe tried to end it multiple times and haven't been able to follow through, or maybe haven't tried to end it, but the thought of going no contact just seems too big a hurdle, we're going to be going into where no contact doesn't work. And you may have been talking with a friend around this relationship and really how to move on or how to navigate. Even you might not necessarily want to move on, and how really to navigate where you're at in your journey today. Or you may have been talking with a therapist and they could be telling you to go no contact in order to move forward, create the change that you need. Now, we're going to be talking about why no contact may not work, or one of the things that it doesn't work. If you're new to this channel, this is a supportive place for you to get help, understanding around affair dynamics. So you may be the other woman in an affair relationship with a married man and really uncertain on how to navigate the terrain of an affair relationship. And so obviously no contact is definitely one of the ways that you can create space in an affair dynamic. Ultimately, you're probably feeling like this experience goes against all my values and rules for life, and I don't even know how to navigate it. Yet you're in love with this person, you're deeply invested and attached. And so, how do we actually navigate change when sometimes even a part of ourselves doesn't want to go through the change? And so, it's definitely an incredibly confusing situation to be in. Now, itchy nose. One of the ways that no contact doesn't work is often if you've been told by a friend or a therapist, or read the blogs or read the YouTube video or watched the YouTube videos, it says cut off all contact to heal your nervous system. To be able to create that space where we've become attached, to create the space in order for us to heal and to detach, then no contact is incredibly powerful. And I've got videos on no contact. Going no contact is incredibly powerful in order for you to create space, to be able to see, to be able to get out of the fog. So I do highly recommend no contact. Where it doesn't work is, one, if you haven't come to the decision in seeing the value yourself on where this could be aligned for you. If you're making the decision based on what other people think is right, or what your therapist thinks is right, or what a blog or a YouTube video thinks is right, yet deep down you don't feel like it's a yes in your body, then you're making a decision that hasn't come from self. And so immediately, if you step into this period of going no contact, but you yourself aren't excited about it, then there is not going to be a high chance of you following through, because there's no real fire or motivation behind the decision to go no contact. So it's really important when considering no contact that the desire comes from within. It comes from, yes, this is a yes for me, in order to create either space, clarity, understanding on what I need moving forward. And that's why I really do recommend no contact for a period, is it creates space where it's just yourself in order to heal, to understand what it is you do need in a relationship. It doesn't mean that you create that space forever, but it really is an essential part of healing. However, if you don't come to the desire of no contact within, then you're making a decision that's not yours. You're making a decision that's based on society's rules for life, and our rule book is all different. Like, you really got to be choosing from an aligned place within, as opposed to what works for someone else. So I will that is highly important. The next piece is where no contact doesn't work is if they say do no contact for 6 months, they being blogs or YouTube videos or your friends or a therapist, do no contact for 6 months. And it feels highly scary and highly, in a way, unachievable, because it just feels like I've tried to go a day without contact, or I've tried to go a weekend without contact, and I haven't been able to follow through. 6 months just feels far too, or a year just feels far too big. in doing the no contact rule, it's essential to see, okay, what deep down feels like the right amount of space for me, or the right amount of time in order to get healing and clarity. And so that might be 1 month, it might be 2 weeks, it might be 2 months, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months, a year. What feels like the right amount of time is different for everyone. And I want you to really deep down tune into your intuition. Your intuition and your fear will be saying different things. Just FYI, underscore note that. Your fear and your intuition will be saying different things. So your intuition will be like, definitely a year. And your fear will be like, absolutely not. Will I even be able to take a week? Listen, listen to your intuition of it saying it feels a year. Just acknowledge it. You don't have to act on a year of no contact. Just acknowledge that there is a seed of thought within that says a year is needed. Now, this is your intuition speaking. It might be a year because he's married and it takes a long time to be able to go through him acting on getting a divorce, getting the divorce, going through the breakup, moving on, moving houses with his wife, before he's actually available to give him his all in a relationship to you. So intuitively, deep down, there might be a seed of thought that's like a year, even 2 or even 3, whatever it is. It might be like, oh my gosh, I don't know why that's coming up, but it's coming up. Acknowledge it. Now, there's what you feel is the right amount of time for no contact, deep down what you feel. And then there's what you have the capacity to actually act on and follow through. And it's important to notice the 2 parts, because one is intuitively what you need. And then the other part is where you're actually at right now. And if I was to tell you, if you think intuitively a year no contact, but then and I was to say, okay, do the year of no contact, then the chances of you following through would be very small, because it's just too big a hurdle. It's far too big a where you're at emotionally, where you're attached with him. The thought of you going a year of no contact is too big. So then we need to look at, okay, what is the achievable state of no contact that I think I need right now in order to create some space. And it might be 1 week, it might be 2 weeks, it might be 30 days, but what is it that I can actually deep down say, okay, I need this space? The week might just be like you're always texting, always communicating it. And it's not necessarily that you're breaking up the relationship, the affair relationship, and saying, this needs to stop. Maybe what deep down is achievable is I just need a week of space where we're not texting so that I can have some time to gather my thoughts without actually setting this big goal of stopping the affair. What happens here is then you're able to collect yourself. You're able to really have some time with yourself, some space, to be able to get outside of the investment of the relationship and step away from it so that you can see from the outside in to your situation that's unfolding. Then if you say it's a week of just, it's not going no contact. It might be no contact, might be, okay, we're going to do a week of no phone calls, no texting, just to be able to create that space. We might see each other still at work or at the grocery shop and stuff like that, but we're just creating that habitual pattern of constantly being in contact. Again, I will asterisk this. Some people might never text their affair partner. Everyone's different, but whatever it is that you need, set that boundary now. That feels achievable. That feels right. That's where you're at today, and that is okay. So I want to really talk to that, because it doesn't need to be so black and white. And when we look at it so black and white, it just feels too big a hill to climb, and it's really unachievable. So what is it that you need today in order to create some space, some clarity, to be able to be with yourself, in order to start this healing process? And if it's little, that is perfectly okay. Start honoring yourself in these moments of little seeds of thought that come up, whether it be just having a week of no talking or texting. This in itself creates space. When you have that week, or it might be 30 days of no contact, then you can, it might be at the 2-week mark where you're like, okay, 30 days is not going to buy me the time that I need in order to actually really create some space of healing. And so at that 2-week mark, you might open that contact and be like, I need a good solid 90 days, and create that boundary with him, and then follow through with the 90 days. This is a step-by-step process of healing. It does not happen overnight. So give yourself grace in this experience. And no, we do not have to take this massive action that it just feels like we won't follow through on. The very feeling like you won't follow through on is often saying something. And so it's important to take a few steps back and choose an outcome that is actually achievable for where you're at today. So I hope that helps. Sending my love, healing, and strength during this time. It's not easy by any means. And if you have left, let me get my hair away from that. If you have left the affair relationship and have gone back multiple times, I feel you. I get it. I have been there so many times, and it can feel often very disheartening, and you feel powerless, like you won't be able to ever create the change. And the reality is, you can get through it, but it's about, like, let's give you the tools in order for you to create, or in order for you to feed yourself with what it is you exactly need in this moment for where you're at. So I hope that helps. Bye for now.